Hello, Lolo. Thanks for supporting. Give everyone. Hey, Dominique, how are you today? Yeah, give a few more seconds. Try to get some more people on before I get started, because this is, this is some important, some life-changing information. If you're just tuning in, this is Midday with Tara, your transformational life strategy coach, helping you pass your roadblocks. For my, if you're coming in from Twitter or Periscope, tell me where you're logging in from, what state, what country you're logging in from. Facebook, remember, this will be my last day broadcasting from my personal page. So make sure, if you haven't already, to go and like and follow me at Tara T. Stallings Inc. That's my business Facebook page, because I'll be broadcasting Monday from there. I thought it was today, but I got my days mixed up. I think I made that announcement on Monday broadcast that I'll be broadcasting from it. But today is the last day of January. Can you believe it, guys? This is the 31st day of 2018. 31 days have gone past just that fast. A month is out. A month is out. And I want to talk to you today. So make sure, if you're just logging on, make sure you invite, make sure you share, make sure you join me at Tara T. Stallings Inc. on my business page, because I'll be broadcasting from now on there. But I want to go through a few announcements before we get started. February is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 1st of February. And we have some outstanding events. We have some training programs. February is the month of love. We'll be talking about relationships and love all of February. Actually, I'll be talking about some things that's coming up that comes from my book, Ladies, Let's Talk, Life, Lies, Love, and Relationships. And it's not just for ladies. That's just the title, guys. Some great transformation information that's in that book. That's Ladies, Let's Talk, Life, Lies, Love, and Relationships. But let me tell you about our event. Our first event is Friday, February 23rd. It's a date night, dating with purpose. We're going to be at the Pink Lady. It's a bed and breakfast here in Augusta. Great food, great entertainment, great. We're going to be doing some great activities. And I tell you, if you're in a relationship, this is the place you want to be. It will challenge your relationship. It will bring you closer. It will give you clarity in your relationship, and it will help your relationship get to the maximum potential that it should be and that we all want it to be. So it's a date night, date with a purpose, but we can only take 12 couples. It's very intimate. So you have to go to my website, Tara T. Stallings Inc., TaraTStallingsInc.com, and register. So if you're married, if you're in a relationship, if you're newly engaged, we're going to have so many people get engaged Valentine's Day. This is the place you want to be. This is the place. This is the event where you need to be. And then also that Saturday kicks off our WITS program. That's Women in Training for Success at the University of Phoenix. So you can go to my website and check out what classes we're offering that day. That's for women 18 and older. The second and the fourth Saturdays, we'll be offering classes for the youth on the second Saturday each month, starting in March. That's going to be from ages 13 to 17. Okay, so let me get started, because just go to my website. Y'all can see all the great things, because I really want to get into this. And I want to do a recap for the month of January, because you know what, you guys? What we don't know is killing our success. It's not always what we do know, what we're doing right, that causes us to leap into success. It's those things that we don't know that keeps us from reaching our greatest potential in success. You know, we can cap off We can get somewhere and we call it I'm stuck. You know, I know it's more in me. I know it's more to me, but I feel like I'm stuck here at a level. And that's a lot of times it's because what you don't know is killing your success. It's killing your potential to live out the fullness of your potential, of your success, of what you've created to do. And I want to talk about that, but I want to do a little recap because we've been talking about that. If you've been listening, we've been talking about that all the month of January. We've been talking about being intentional. You know, this is a new beginning, 2018. Everybody, it's new beginning, and it is. We talked about that. But let your new beginning be a great beginning and not be a beginning of disaster for you. Because it's just because it's a beginning, it could be a good beginning or it could be a bad beginning. We talked about you either shift up or you shift down. You shift up or you shift down. So with this 2018, we want to make sure that we're shifting up. When I mean shifting up, we're leveling up. We're going higher. We are achieving more. We are doing more. We are becoming more of who we truly are in 2018 than we've ever been. We're doing more than we've ever done before. But you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to know what to do before you can do it. Because a lot of times people say, well, and I hear people, because I'm a transformational life coach and I help people pass those roadblocks. But sometimes those roadblocks, and they're like, well, I've been doing all these things. I did the 12 steps here and the 13 steps here and the 18 steps here. But it seems like I'm stuck and I can't get past this cap that's on my life. This cap that's in my success for my my relationship, the cap that's on my success for my career, the cap that's on my success for my entrepreneurship, the cap that's on my success for my health, the cap that's on my success for my mental thinking. What do we do? Because see, it's not enough to just be consistent. You have to be consistent in the right things. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because it's not just doing, I'm going to work, I'm going to church, I'm reading books. And all those things are great and they're wonderful. But it's something else that you have to do so that you can reach your fullest potential and reach that level of success that you're already predestined, that's innate in you for you to reach. Now, we all have a different level. But we want to make sure we maximize. And one of those things is this. We talked about early on is about visualization. Now, I'm a recent graduate from school, but I've always studied the mind, positive thinking, positive coaching. I did that even before I entered into school. And the reason I went to school because, the truth be told, people don't think you credible unless you have a degree. And I know a lot of people that have doctorate degrees and they dummies. And I just hate to say that, but so I went to school not just for the education, but because sometimes the world says you need to have a paper or certificate behind your name to say that you're credible. But I was credible before, and I'm not saying that to be bragging, but my wisdom comes from above. But I've always studied. I don't think I'm one of those spooky people. I study and I research things, and I research those positive thinking and positive psychology, and having positive thinking and understanding the neuroscience of how our brain operates. The neuroscience, how our brain operates. Because you know what? I love God, but I understand science is God. It is. If we read our scriptures, science is God. Science is finding out some things that are already in the Word of God. We just catching up. We kind of behind, but I don't want to go there. So I talked about visualization. Let me tell you how important visualization is. Now, we talked about the law of attraction, and I talk about the law of attraction, but you know, I get my wisdom from the word of God. I just do. Not knocking the law of attraction, because that information comes from the word of God, period. Don't want to get into that though. But let me tell you what science says about visualization. Because we're talking about what we don't know is killing our success. It says that our brains are created in such a way that when we imagine, when we visualize things, that our brain cannot detect if it's really happening then or if it's imagination. See, our brain doesn't know the difference in reality, if it's happening right then or if we imagine it and it's something that's in our imagination. So that's how powerful our brains are. So understanding that we have to have a visual picture, we have to visually see what success is for us, where we want to be, where do we see ourselves. And when I say visualization, I mean to the point where you are actually, it's detailed. You can visualize what success is, whether it's for financial success, whether it's in your relationship, whatever it is you're trying to achieve and be successful at. You have to see yourself to the point where it's in detail. The vision, the visualization is so real, it's so detailed. You can see colors. You can start smelling. That's what meditation comes in. You know, guys, meditation, visualization helps you see the vision so that you can write the vision. You can't write something if you hadn't seen it. If you hadn't visualized it, you can't write it. So we talked about visualization. So understanding the power of visualization, because we're made, whether you believe God or not, we're made in the image of a higher power. Imagination, visualization. We're created in that. See it and then you say it. You see it and then it is. You see it and then you visualize it until it comes into fruition, until it comes into reality. So visualization is going to be key in you walking out your success. The next thing is that you can't visualize it just one time. Oh, I'm going to sit here and we're going to close our eyes and we're going to meditate and we're going to see it one time. No, it has to become a constant, being consistent. Yeah. See, we want stuff because we've gotten used to Burger King. You can have it like you, whatever you want, you can get it. You can get it the way you want. That's not life. You know, I want place it to my order. I want to do it the way I want to do it, and I want to make it come to pass. Not going to work that way. It's a system, it's principles that's in place that we have to operate in, that we have to function in so that we can see success. But if we don't know these things, it kills our success. We never walk into it. So we have to visualize it, first thing, and then we have to be consistent in what we see, consistent in what we're seeing. So you have to set times. You have to set times to sit to yourself, to get to yourself and visualize what you want for your family. Visualize what you want for your finances. Visualize what you want for your business. You have to visualize it. I mean, visualize it to the point where you actually walking things out. I mean, it becomes so real to you that reality is not reality. That your vision, it becomes your reality. So you have to be consistent. And then I talked about this 5 steps because see, in visualization and in being consistent, once we visualize it, then we have to say it. It's not a good, okay, the word says write the vision, word of God says write the vision and make it plain. Well, once you see the vision, then you got to start talking about the vision. But because before you start writing a vision, you got to talk about it. You got to talk out, what did you see? What is it? And it's so much power. And I was talking about this morning. When we can realize that it's power in our words. Now, I'm not trying to give you a Bible study lesson. I'm just trying to give you facts. Because if you just analyze where you are today, because of your words, your life has come to reality. We're going to take the Bible. You ain't even got to believe in God. You don't even have to believe. If you don't believe in God, your words still have power. So we have to understand that we can't just visualize it. We have to say what we see. Because our words bring things into existence. Thanks, Dominique. Yeah, so we have to understand that it's not just to see it. What are you saying? Because see, you can see things and you saying something different. So then you have a positive and a negative, and they're fighting against each other. So whatever you visualize, then you have to say what you see. And you have to be consistent with it. After you visualize it, then you say it, then you write it down. Then you write it down. I had vision board training, this workshops this month, and it's so important. The reason to write things down so it's always there. You don't just write it down and put it in a journal and put it in a drawer and throw it away and never see it again. No. You write it down so that you can see when you wake up in the morning, when you're going throughout your day, when you go to bed at night. It's all that image is always in your frontal lobe. It's always in your frontal lobe. That's what our frontal lobe is where we make our decisions. We rationalize. And if we visualize things, we can visualize what we want. Then we can imagine and we can rationalize what we want, and to the point we bring it into existence. And then after we write it, you guys, we got to plan it out. Okay, then you got to plan it. And I teach this because what we don't know is killing us, our success. You have to see the end at the beginning. You don't see your vision at the beginning stage. You see the finished product. What does it look like? And you living it out. If it's a great relationship, you have to visualize, what does that look like? How do I see myself in this great, fantastic relationship with my partner, with my husband, with my wife? If it's a great family relationship, what does it look like? To the point that you have to write it down. That's right. If you're not writing it, you're not planning. That's right, Dominique. Because if you don't write it down, it's just, you just daydreaming. It's just something, y'all know what I'm saying? I always wanted, I talked about this, I always wanted to own my own restaurant. I always wanted to buy me a new house. I always wanted to get married. I always wanted to lose weight. I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to, and you never achieve it. One, you don't know what it looks like. Two, you're not saying it. Three, you're not writing it down. And then you have to plan it out. What's going to be your strategy? It's just not going to happen. We talked about being intentional. It's 2018. You know, I remember in 1999 when everybody thought the world was going to end. Everybody was going up buying canned goods, water, going up under the house, going up under the stove, thinking that the world was going to end and we were going to all die. And guess what? It's 18 years later. We're not dead yet. We still have work to do. So we have to plan it, and then once you strategize it, the next step is to work it out. See, we are lazy. We are in a microwave generation. Nobody wants to use their stove anymore. We want to cook everything in the microwave. We cook bacon in the microwave. We cook eggs in the microwave. We cook a whole chicken in the microwave. And it kills all the nutrients because we're doing it quickly. Instead of cooking it in the oven, we don't want to take time to go get education. We don't want to take time to go learn something new. We don't want to take time out of our schedule to go walk so you can get healthy. We don't want to take time to do something different that's going to cause us to be, you have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. I'm going to say that again. You have to become uncomfortable so that you can be comfortable. And see, we don't want that. We want to just, I want it right now. I want it right now. I want it today. I want that Lexus today. I want that Beamer today. I want that Mercedes today. You got a Lexus, a Beamer, and a Mercedes, but you live in an apartment. Your car costs more than your apartment. You paying rent somewhere. Come on. We want things too fast. We don't want to work for them because there's a process to life. There's a process to life. There's a process to success. Because see, you can achieve success, but you won't retain that success if you don't go through the process. That's why you see people, they win the lottery, all those millions of dollars, and 5 years later, they dead broke. They broke again. Because they didn't understand, what do I need to do to keep it here? I don't know. They didn't know I need to invest. So see, we have to understand, it's not always what we're doing. It's what we're not doing and what we don't know that kills our potential to live out, to walk out success in whatever area and arena of life that we are trying to live it out in. So we have to be intentional. We have to have a plan. We have to strategize. And then I talked about, I use this because, let me tell you something. And I wrote that down because I didn't realize, I talk so much sometimes. But I wrote this down. And when I talked about, you have to become uncomfortable so that you can get comfortable. So that means and I'm going to use this example. If you're trying to get healthy and lose weight, that means you're going to have to change your eating habits. That means you're going to have to exercise. So that means you're going to have to come out your comfort zone and sacrifice. Because see, we don't want to sacrifice. Sacrifice sometimes. Sacrifice that cake. Sacrifice those burgers. Sacrifice that stuff that I don't like that. It's not good to me, but it's good for you. So we have to become uncomfortable so that we can become comfortable. When we're talking about our finances, when we're trying to save money or invest, that means we're going to have to cut back some things. We can't go out to eat 3 and 4 times a week. That means you're going to have to cook at home. That means you're going to have to meal prep. That means you're going to have to go to the grocery store. So you're going to have to spend a little more time in that kitchen so you can save that money, that's $60, $70, $80 a week that you're spending on fast food and eat it out, and invest that money. Put it in a savings account. Put it in investment. See, that's called being uncomfortable. So on the process of life and the journey of success, you can become comfortable. You can become comfortable. So what we don't know is killing our success, you guys. We got to get this thing right. We got to understand that I was taking this seminar, and I was listening to this dynamic woman of God. And I'm saying she's a woman of God because the stuff she was saying, I know whether she believed God or not, it had to come from him. It wasn't just science. But she was teaching about how neuroscience teaches us we have a higher brain and we have a lower brain. And how we live off our lower brain. Our lower brain is those negativities, those fears, those complacencies, those, I ain't gonna never do this. This ain't gonna never happen. And excuse my bad English, but that's just how we talk. I can't ever do that. That's not for me. That's for somebody else. That's that lower brain. But if we could ever understand and ever get to the understanding and knowledge that if we can live above and in our higher brain, that's always positive. That's where that greatness lives. You guys, our life can be limitless. And it all comes from changing the way we think. Changing the way we perceive things and we perceive life. And that causes, let me tell you what, the reason we stay where we are, because we're afraid. We talked about fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We are afraid to do something different. We become afraid to be different in the group. We become afraid to step out. We become afraid to fail. It's because if we fail, what's going to happen? Nothing. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to learn from your failure. When you fail, it just teaches your brain, hey, how do I work this out the next time that I don't fail? It's just a lesson. When you were learning to ride your bike, you fell off it a lot of times. When you were learning to swim, you drank a lot of water. You got a lot of water in your nose. But you kept doing it. Your brain taught you, hey, let me do something different next time. So see, we use fear as a tactic not to live out our full potential in life. Fear is false evidence appearing real. You got to use fear as what it is. Because, you know, fear is, it teaches you something. Children, babies, they're not fearful. They just naturally, they're not fearful. They are not fearful. They will, you know, they'll just walk off the edge of the sofa and fall off. And if you don't say anything, if they don't bump too hard, they may not even cry. They just may lay there because they don't understand fear. We scream and yell and, oh, don't do that. And then we startle them, and then we create fear into them. So what happens is, because we get afraid, oh, well, if I venture out in this right here, I may lose some money. It may fail. Nobody may show up. It may not work out the way I planned. So what? It doesn't. Try again. Then you learn, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong that I need to do right, do differently this time? And once you learn, understand, you use fear as a tool. You use fear as a tool. And I was speaking with a person, and they said, well, you know what? I'm too afraid to do it. I'm afraid because fear, now let me tell you, I'm talking about fear, but fear can grip you to the point because fear is false evidence appearing real. It's in your mind. It's in your mind. Oh, I don't know what happened to my Periscope. It went out. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. So anyway, that was strange. Sorry, you guys. My Periscope kind of just blacked out for a second. So yes, fear can keep us in bondage. Fear can keep us to a place that I don't know why my thing is doing that. Fear can keep us in bondage, and it does a lot of times because see, we get chained up in our mind on what could happen, or what can happen, or what if this happens, and it keeps us in bondage until we will never make that first step. I never can forget when back in 2010 when I said, you know what, I'm going back to school. I had completed my certification for a Christian life coach, and I said, you know what, I'm going back to school to get my degree in counseling. And when initially I went there and I was like, okay, what do I need to do? I was enrolling at University of Phoenix, and they said, oh, it's going to take you 3 years. I was like, oh, wow, 3 years to get my degree? That's a long time. And I start in my mind thinking about, oh, wow, that's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time. How am I going to do it? I own my own business. What I'm going to do with my clients. I start talking myself out of things that why I couldn't do it. Fear. I'm too old. I had been out of school over 20 years. You know, the last time I had went to college was in 89, and that was at USC Aiken. And I was like, oh, you know, I can't do this. But then I had to do it. I had to make a decision. What else am I going to do for 3 years? Take those 3 years and say, hey, oh, I wish I could have. I should have. I wanted to. I had to change those negative thoughts and change them around and say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I hadn't written a paper. I hadn't did anything. I was having a hard time doing my kids' work because that stuff had changed from when I was in school. So I used false evidence appearing real. I tried to talk myself out of it. But then I had to do it, cast that fear off, and do it afraid. I said, well, you know what? I've done everything else. So either I'm going to fail or I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to try. So sometimes what we don't know kills our success because of fear, because we allow those negative thoughts to keep resonating in our mind. We look at, and then we go and get, and I tell you it's 12:30 already, and then we go and get ungodly counsel from people that say, well, child, what you gonna do with that? Because I'm telling you things that people talk to me. Well, why do you want to go back to school? You have a successful business. You've been doing hair. It's doing very good. You're making a lot of money. Why would you want to go back to school? Are you going to get a job in that? These are the things that people said to me. What if I had listened? What if I had listened? I would still be saying, oh, I always want to do this. I always wanted to do this. So I had to do it afraid. I never forget my first paper. Man, whoo, Jesus. Come on now. We didn't have to write papers like that when I was in college and when I was in high school. I ain't even know anything about citing a paper. What is citing a paper? You know, but I graduated with a 3.8. So, you know, it's something inside of all of us. Greatness is inside of all of us. But it will kill. Success is inside of all of us. But what you don't know will kill your journey to success. So you have to know these things. I'm going to say it again, you guys, because my time is up. It's 12:32. You have to visualize it to the point it becomes your reality, that you can smell the flowers, see it, that you can walk it out. Then you have to be consistent in your visualization. After you visualize it, then you have to say what you see. After you say what you see, then you have to write it down. Write it down. And then after you write it, you got to plan. You got to strategize. You got to plan it out. Then once you plan it out, guess what you have to do? Get off your lazy behind and do something different. Because if you want something different, you got to do something different. Einstein said it's insane to do the same thing continually and expect a different outcome. And that's what most of us are. We want to do the same thing, hang around the same people, read the same books, listen to the same songs, listen to the same stuff, and do the same, eat the same food, and think we're going to get a different result. Not. Okay, you guys, my time is up. Remember, Monday, we are all about love, all about February. So if you haven't gotten your book, which I'm going to be talking about some stuff from the book, but I'm going to be talking about some other things. Ladies, let's talk life, lives, love, and relationship. You can go to my website and get it. But we're going to be talking about that. Our event is February the 23rd. For couples, we can only take 12 couples. Check my website out. You can see tartystallinsinc.com. All the events on there. I love you guys. I thank you for listening. Remember to like this page, like this broadcast, and share it with everybody. Share it, because we got to do something different. It's too much greatness in this world. It's too much greatness in us. We are born to be successful. But if you don't do the work, you won't get the results. Have a great weekend, you guys. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Grace to you. Success to you. Share it and listen to this again. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great week. Thanks.